Okay, so hello everyone. Could you please confirm that everything is fine with my audio and video so that we can start with the session? I hope everything is fine from my end. Could you please confirm that everything is fine? Okay, so let's begin with the session. So we are starting with. Let me just confirm few more things that everything is fine with my audio and video. I hope everything is okay. I believe everything is fine. Thank you for waiting. Okay, so let's start. Okay, fine. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about two very important circulars, or we can say the master directions of the RBI. That is, first one is limits for the investment by the FPI and operational guidelines for the floating rate saving bonds. Now, you could be asked for the same, that is, what is floating rate saving bonds, right? So that is the reason we are going to understand the operational guidelines for the same, right? Both are important. Direct question can be asked, and then we have questions as well. So let's just start with the first, we can say news with us, that is limits for investment by the foreign portfolio investors. Before we dive into the circulars, let's understand first that how the FPI, invest in the Indian stock market, right? So first we will understand and have a clarity on that. After that, we will be continuing with the next thing. Okay. So let's just see that what do we have. So we have foreign portfolio investors. What are foreign portfolio investors? So foreign portfolio investors are very simple. These are some foreign investors who are investing in our Indian stock market, right? So these are foreign portfolio investors. That is FPI. Okay, FPI. These are foreign investors. These are regulated by whom? Regulated. These are regulated either by SEBI or by RBI, depending upon where they are investing, right? So where FPI invest in? FPI invest in three major areas, that is equity, then we have debt. Okay, either they will invest in the equity, that is the shares of the company. They are keeping ownership of the companies by owning their shares, right? And then we have debt. Under debt, we have three categories. Three categories. The first is government securities. Government securities which are being issued by center. And we have one more classification, that is government securities which are issued by state. That means state government have issued these government securities. We will be calling it as state government securities. And at last, we have corporate bond. We have corporate bonds. So these are bonds which are being issued by whom? The companies. Okay. So companies are the one who have issued it. So these are also a type of debt wherein foreign investors can invest in. Now, foreign portfolio investors are a kind of investors who come, enter our Indian stock market, and they, leave the Indian stock market in a very short period of time. So we are not calling them FDI, like foreign direct investment. They are not opening any kind of project, or they are not opening any kind of company here for a longer period of time, that they are going to stay invested in our Indian market for next 10 to 20 years. It's not like that. We have foreign portfolio investors who come and go. These are very volatile in nature, and hence because these are very volatile, they have certain limits. That means RBI says that I have certain limits under which they need to stay, or either they need to invest up to certain limit. They cannot just invest as much as they can. Okay, so we have put some limit. Okay, so how, if FPI have to start their investment, how they are going to start it? So FPI is going to start by registering with the SEBI. First, they are going to register with the SEBI, and then what? They are going to open their account with the Indian bank, right? They are going to start by opening an account with the Indian bank, and they are going to convert their foreign currency, that is FC, foreign currency, say dollar, euro, euros, yen, they are going to convert their foreign currencies to INR with the help of Indian banks, right? Indian banks can work as a custodian banks who are also keeping their securities, their debt in their account, right? So custodian Indian banks are helping these foreign investors to convert their foreign currencies into INR. Okay, so this is how it works, right? So as I told you that foreign portfolio investors are good for Indian economy, but at the same time that they are very harmful. How? Suppose there is a foreign portfolio investors. Now many foreign portfolio investors come and invest in our Indian stock market. Okay. Now what happens? There's a large portion of investment which is being held by whom? Foreign investors. If they leave our Indian stock market on a sudden basis, say today we all wake up and see that every foreign portfolio investors have de-invested everything whatever they have invested in our Indian stock market, and they have booked their money and take their money to their home country. What does this mean? That our Indian stock market is going to crash today because we have over dependency on the foreign investors. See, foreign investors are very healthy. They help us, buying selling and buying the government securities or say any shares, right? They provide liquidity in the, we can say stock market. They bring a lot of participation. So as participation increases, liquidation increases. But we also want their benefit, but we also want not too much over dependence. So there is a trade-off. There is a trade-off between the liquidity, that is the benefit they are coming with, and the disadvantage, right? So there is one thing that RBI tries to control is financial stability. Is financial stability. What we are actually understanding is why RBI has put some limits on them, right? So there are some reasons that I am listing down that why we want control over these FPIs, that these are not too much and these are not too less. Okay. So RBI wants financial stability. Why? Because we do not want over dependence on them. What we want? We do not want over dependence on them. Okay, this is the first reason. Second reason is currency stability. Second reason is currency stability. Now, ma'am, what is currency stability? Now, as I told you that foreign investors sell their foreign currencies with our Indian banks, and what they demand for INR. Obviously, if you want to buy a good in a Indian country, you are going to pay what? Rupees, or either you are going to give dollars, because companies say no, I accept INR only, because in my country everything can be bought with rupees only, so give me rupees in order to, if in case you want to invest in my country, right? So what I want to say that as people demand more and more rupee with our Indian banks, the rupee appreciates, our rupee appreciates. What is the first effect? Is rupee appreciate. Now rupee appreciation is a good thing, right? Rupee appreciation is a good thing, but too much rupee appreciation is harmful. Anything which is too excessive or too excess, it's harmful. Whether it's a too excessive money supply, it's a too excessive, we can say, rupee appreciation, or it is, we can say, even if you take too much medicines, right, you are going to harm yourself, right? Medicines can be also be taken in a controlled way. This is how rupees appreciation is also being appreciated by the regulator in a controlled way. Otherwise this is going to be very harmful for the economy. Now you would be saying, ma'am, how rupee appreciation is going to be harmful? So first reason is it is going to hurt our exporters. If exporters are selling their goods and services to other countries will say, see, your rupee is so expensive, I can't buy your rupee, so I want buying your goods and services as well. Okay, so this is hurting what? Our exporting business. Now exporting business is so important for our economy. They are bringing foreign currency, they are bringing a lot of money, this they are earning money for our economy. So this is hurting what? This is hurting our exporters. So too much rupee appreciation is also not good at the same time. Okay, so everything balanced looks good, right? Any doubt as of now? Any doubt as of now? So these were some listing of reasons that why RBI want to control the FPI limit. Okay, so now we are going to understand that what is the limit. Now we are going to understand what are the limit. Okay, right? Okay, thank you, Vishwas, for give me the confirmation. I was in doubt that everything is working fine or not. Okay. Any doubt as of now? Okay. Fine. Great. So we are starting with the second topic. That is, what are the limits and what are the various routes through which an FPI can come and invest in our Indian stock market, right? Invest in our Indian stock market. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. Thank you, Balram. So now we need to understand different routes. Different routes of FPI. The first one is general route. First one is general route. Ma'am, what is general route? General route is a kind of route wherein there is standard limits. Some limits are there. They cannot just buy anything, whatever they want. There is general limits that is applicable on every FPI whosoever is coming and investing in our Indian stock market. So what is applicable? Standard limits are applicable. Standard limits are applied on the investment. Next comes your voluntary retention route. Voluntary retention route. We also call it as VRR. We also call it as VRR. Ma'am, what is this limit? So this is another kind of route which is also allowed by whom? By the RBI, by saying that if you stay with me, if you commit long-term investment in my stock market, we already know that FPI is coming in our Indian stock market just to earn what? Rupees. Just to earn what? Profit. They see that yes, there is high chances to earn profit from the stock market. So they come, they book their profit and leave our country. This is what their whole and sole purpose is, right? So RBI says, see, you are a FPI. If you stay here for a longer period of time, if you stay invested, keep your money invested in my country for a longer period of time, see, I am going to give you some flexibility. Okay. So this VRR route was this. Okay. So they said, if you have long-term investment, okay. So I'll give you what? I'll give you what? Flexibility. Ma'am, what kind of flexibility? So flexibility is that standard limits are this. So I'm going to give you some more, we can say, space to invest in. There was some standard limit which was applicable on the FPI who are going through the general route. But I'm going to give you more benefit as compared to general route. Say general route allow you to invest only 10 lakh rupees. But in VRR, if you stay invested, I am going to allow you to invest 12 lakh rupees. So see, you are having larger investment corpus with you. So this is the benefit. Now the third route is your fully accessible route. Fully accessible route. In short form, we call it as FAR. Okay. Now this is a kind of route which limits in what kind of government securities you can invest in. This limits the government security categories. Only in certain categories you can invest in government security, like only in certain category. That category is well, told in advance. Okay, they are being well explained in advance. See, this is the category in which you can invest, and you can invest fully without any limit. No limit is there in these categories. So loan limit is being applicable. So these are fully accessible routes. There are certain categories you can invest in totally. So you do not have any limit. Okay. So there are three categories. What RBI did, that RBI merged these two categories. RBI merged these two categories. Ma'am, what do category? The VRR category, that is VRR route, and what? General route. When they did this in recent MPC. In the recent MPC, they announced that we are going to merge general route and VRR together, and they will now fall under one same category. That is, we are going to call it as general route. So recent MPC में this was announced. In February 2026 में जो आपकी MPC आई थी, in that it was announced. So now it will be called as only general route. तो मैम इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अब VRR जैसा रूट कोई भी एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता. Now with this VRR, route does not exist anymore. Now there are only two routes, which is general route and fully accessible route. Will you remember this? Yes, you will remember this. तो अब ये कब से applicable है ये rule? This rule is applicable on, यहाँ पर लिख रही हूं मैं, 1st April 2026. 2026. This is going to be applicable from 1st April 2026, जो कि अभी हो चुका है applicable. यानी कि अब VRR available नहीं है to the FPI. ऐसा क्यों किया RBI ने? What was the reason? RBI said that, see, this was creating a lot of complication for me. There were 3 different routes, and VRR, the whole agenda of VRR was to, make FPIs invested in Indian stock market for a longer period of time. But they didn't, you know, stay there for a longer period of time. Even if they stayed, they have found what loopholes. They have found what loopholes wherein they didn't even invest it for a longer period of time, and they also have flexibility. So this is a lost game for me. I do not want to continue with this route. This is a lost game for me. Why would I do this complications for the banks also, for me as well? So let's remove this. Now I have one general route जिसके अंदर ही I will have flexibility based on certain condition. मैं अपनी conditions के हिसाब से बताऊंगा that इस particular FPI को मुझे flexibility देनी चाहिए या नहीं देनी चाहिए. This is what they are going to talk about. So this was your entire criteria and entire thing that looks like. Okay. Now, there is one more thing that we need to understand is CDS, that is credit default swap. Okay, let's understand it here because I do not have any more blank pages with me. Okay, so we have one more thing, that is CDS. We will call it as credit default swap. Ma'am, what is this and why we are understanding this? Understand this right now. In the upcoming page, that's the slide that we are going to understand. We are going to have this concept useful. Okay, so this concept is going to be useful in our upcoming slide. So first thing is credit default swap. Ma'am, what is this? Now see, there are many, we can say, foreign investors who are investing in, say, corporate bond, right? Corporate bond which are being issued by whom? The companies. There are many people. What people? Normal are domestic investors who are also buying what? Corporate bonds. Now both have this risk. Foreign investors and our domestic investors. They both have risk. Ma'am, what kind of risk? Risk is that this might happen that at the time of maturity, companies might default on their payment. They might not give us our principal investment. हमने जितनी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करी थी, मान लीजिए इस इन्वेस्टर्स ने 10,000 रुपए अपने इन्वेस्ट करे थे इन द कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड एंड दिस फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर इन्वेस्टेड हाउ मच? They have invested what? Say they have invested $1,000 in the corporate bond, right? Now, what if this company do not pay? What if this company do not pay back the investment to these foreign investor company? So there is a risk of what? There is a risk of default. कि कंपनी मना कर दे, भाग जाए कंपनी, पैसा सारा लेकर भाग जाए, ऐसा हो सकता है. तो what investors were seeking is insurance. Investors ने क्या seek करना शुरू किया? That they looked for insurance. So what many of the foreign investors are now doing that foreign FPIs, that is foreign portfolio investors, are now offering credit default swap. Ma'am, what is this? This is a kind of swap. If companies are not able to pay me, FPI is going to, repay the amount for the insured money. Okay, तो ये अब कौन देगा पैसा? इन्वेस्टर को एफपीआई देगा. तो एफपीआई ने अपना नया बिजनेस शुरू किया था. दे ओपन देयर बिजनेस ऑफ credit default swaps wherein they make a guarantee that if the company is not able to pay you your invested amount, I am going to pay you. You just need to buy this credit default swap on which you have to pay me certain money, certain money to me, and for against that premium I am going to give you security that if company is not able to pay you, I am going to pay you the principal amount easy. Okay, so this was also being given by whom? FPIs. तो FPIs ने अपना नया बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया जहां पर वो क्या ट्रेड कर रहे थे? क्रेडिट डिफॉल्ट स्वैप ट्रेड कर रहे थे, एंड पीपल वर बाइंग इट in order to secure themselves, in order to get insurance for their investment in corporate bonds. If the company is not able to pay me, I am going to pay you. ओके, तो हमने क्रेडिट डिफॉल्ट स्वैप भी पढ़ लिया, ठीक है। अब हम बात करते हैं किसकी? द इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिट्स फॉर द फाइनेंशियल ईयर, ठीक है। इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिट फॉर द फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2026-2027। तो ये जो आप डायरेक्शन देख रहे हैं आरबीआई की, दैट इज लिमिट फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट बाय एफपीआई। ये जो आप इन्वेस्टमेंट देख रहे हैं, इन दिस इन्वेस्टमेंट दे हैव क्लैरिफाइड द लिमिट। दे आर कह रहे हैं कि वी आर कंटिन्यूइंग विद द ओल्ड लिमिट्स दैट वर देयर ऑलरेडी। तो उन्होंने दोबारा से लिख दिए इन लिमिट्स को, हम दोबारा से पढ़ेंगे। बट आर दीज? तो इफ द एफपीआई इज इन्वेस्टिंग इन द गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज विच आर बीइंग इशूड बाय whom? Center, then they can invest 6% of total central government bonds. जितने भी गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स इशू हुए हैं इन द मार्केट, इन द टोटल इंडियन मार्केट, दे आर गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट 6% ऑफ दैट। मान लीजिए 10,000 करोड़ इज द टोटल सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड। इतने टोटल गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड गवर्नमेंट ने इशू करे हैं, ठीक है, सेंटर ने। तो उसका 6% ही मेंटेन कर सकते हैं। दैट इज, एक इन्वेस्टमेंट के पास कितनी लिमिट हो जाएगी? 600 करोड़। This is the limit, right? Same for the state government securities, the limit is 2%. Say state government ने कितने इशू करे अपने बॉन्ड्स? 10,000 करोड़। सो 10,000 करोड़ का 2% कितना होगा? 200 करोड़। So that means that they can invest up to 200 crore only. Just like that for the corporate bond. For the corporate bond, there is a limit of 15%. 15% तक क्या इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं जितने भी टोटल कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड इशू हुए हैं, ठीक है। तो मान लीजिए अगेन सेम एग्जांपल लेते हैं, 10,000 करोड़ का है, 15% है, तो हाउ मच दे कैन इन्वेस्ट? 1,500 crore is the limit. 1,500 crore is the limit for them to invest their money in the corporate bond. So this is going to be their limit, right? So this is the limit. आपको कैसे याद रखना है? मैम 6% for government securities issued by central, 2% is the state government securities and 15% for the corporate bond. सबसे ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिट किसकी है? कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड्स की है, दैट इज 15%। ऐसा क्यों किया है आरबीआई ने? ऐसा इसलिए किया है बिकॉज आरबीआई एज अ रेगुलेटर थिंक्स दैट एफपीआईज को ज्यादा से ज्यादा कहां इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए? इन द कंपनीज, इन द इंडियन कंपनीज, ताकि उन्हें कॉन्फिडेंस मिले व्हेन दे इशू देयर बॉन्ड्स देयर आर n number of participants who are actually taking part in their bond buying and selling. तो इससे कॉन्फिडेंस इंक्रीज होगा हमारे इंडियन companies का. That is the reason they have increased the limit, and this will also boost the confidence among the FPIs that yes, they have more corpus, they have more space in their hand wherein they can invest their money in the corporate bond and they can invest. Okay, that is going to increase the confidence of the FPIs as well and for the corporate bonds as well, for the corporate companies as well, right? So this is 6%, 2%, 15%. Let's just move ahead. Now, what are the other things that are being highlighted by this particular circular? They said that government securities are being equally increased by 50-50. They are being equally increased by 50-50. अब मैं आपको बताती हूँ हो क्या रहा है. Story time. What is the story time, ma'am? Story time is this that RBI ने कहा कि हमारे ना FPI थोड़े कम हो रहे हैं. And we have seen कि foreign investment अब कम होती जा रही है in the Indian stock market. Why? Because obviously there is a lot of uncertainty. War-like situation is there. Our India needs some liquidity, है ना? पैसा नहीं आ रहा हमारे इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में. And now Indian stock market is being hurt. तो आरबीआई ने कहा कि मैं परसेंटेज तो इंक्रीज नहीं करना चाहता. विच परसेंटेज? 6%, 2%, 15%. मैं परसेंटेज इंक्रीज नहीं करना चाहता. मुझे लिमिट इंक्रीज करनी है एफपीआईज की ताकि वो ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट लेकर आए इन आर इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट. बट हाउ कैन आई डू इट? आई डोंट वांट टू चेंज द परसेंटेज. तो उन्होंने एक ट्रिक और उन्होंने स्मार्ट वे ढूंढा. दे फाइंड अ स्मार्ट वे टू इंक्रीज द लिमिट विदाउट इवन चेंजिंग द परसेंटेज. उन्होंने कहा कि हम ना गवर्नमेंट को, आरबीआई ने कहा कि हम गवर्नमेंट को अलाउ कर देते हैं कि आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा बॉन्ड इशू कीजिए, ठीक है, आप क्या कीजिए, ज्यादा से ज्यादा बॉन्ड इशू कीजिए। जैसे ही बॉन्ड की क्वांटिटी बढ़ जाएगी, एफपीआईज की लिमिट ऑटोमेटिकली बढ़ जाएगी। मैम एग्जाम्पल से समझाओ। एग्जाम्पल सिंपल है, एग्जाम्पल सिंपल, ठीक है। ये इसका एग्जाम्पल देख लेते हैं, इसे मिटा देने दो। ओके, व्हाट इज द एग्जाम्पल? मैम एग्जाम्पल से समझाओ। एग्जाम्पल इज अर्लियर government were allowed only to raise 10,000 crore from the Indian stock market. But अब उन्होंने कहा now you can raise your bond limit. आप अपनी बॉन्ड लिमिट बढ़ा दो, यानी कि आप ज्यादा इशू कर सकते हो। तो उन्होंने कहा पहले आप 10 करोड़ और 10,000 करोड़ इशू करते थे, now you will be able to raise 12,000 crore from the market. So 6% of 10,000 is 600 crore, right? And same 6% for 12,000 crore is would be larger than this. Now we are not going into the calculation, whatever would be the calculation, what would be the right one? 6 to the 12 6, 7, okay, 72 720 crore. So see, this is the increased limit. तो उन्होंने एफपीआई की ना ही परसेंटेज बढ़ाई, पहले भी 6% था, अब भी 6% है। earlier it was 6%, now it is 6%, but I have increased the limit for the government, right? So now FPI space has automatically increased, right? So this is what they have done, that is they have increased the limit for general and long term investors as well. Even अब इन्होंने, मैंने बताया था आपको जनरल लिमिट ही है only. Now we have only one general route. In the one general route they have two bifurcation. One is general investor and the other one is long term investors. Okay, so they have increases both the limit. For the general investors as well and for the long term investors, they have equally increased limit for both the government security. अभी हम एक टेबल देखेंगे, उसमें हमें और भी क्लैरिटी आएगी. Then for the state government bonds, they have just increased the limit for the general category and not for the long term category. ठीक है, अभी हम टेबल पढ़ेंगे, हमें समझ में आएगा. And for the fully accessible route, continue to have the same limits. No limits have been increased. कोई भी लिमिट्स नहीं इंक्रीज की गई हैं. These are always counted as a FAR. ठीक है, they are going to be specified bonds only. अब टेबल देखते हैं so that we can understand. You can see this table. So they have new investment limits. Okay, so you can see this particular figure which says that 14,70,655. So that is 14,70,655 crore. This was their earlier limit. But now the limit has been increased to what? This limit has been increased to, now it is for the first half. That is for the financial year 27. First half, the limit has been increased to say 15,51,646. So this is an increase. By 81,000 crore on a approx basis. This is approx. This is a sign of approx. So approximately how much they have increased the limit? 81,000 crore, right? So this is what they have increased for the first half. Of financial year 27. Just like that, for the second half, they have increased it to say 15 lakh something, to say they have increased it to rupees 16 lakh 32,640 crore. This is again an increase of 81,000 crore approximately basis. On an approximate basis, they have increased it to this much, right? And then, so they have increased the limit, right? And how they have increased it? For the general and for the government security. For the general and the government security, you can see these numbers. These are 2.9 lakh crore something. This is 1.6 lakh crore something. So these two are being increased by 7,257 crore and 7,257 crore. So there is a 50-50 increase in both the general and long-term government security. Okay, there is a 50-50 increase. So suppose they think that we need to increase say 14,500 something amount in the government security. So say 14,000 crore will be divided into both the general category and the long term category, 50-50. So they have 50-50 increased it to the both kind of government security, long term and general. Just like that, in the next half, they have also done the same. They have increased them in the same quantity. That is in the same increase, same level of increase, 50-50 has been divided in the increase. Then for the state government security, they have increased it. They have increased it by 11,000 something, 11,200 crore approximately basis. So they have increased it for the first half and then second half same. And for the long term state government security, they have kept it same. They haven't increased anything. They haven't increased anything. And for the corporate bond, they have also increased it to certain limit. They have also increased it to certain limit, right? So this was the actual change they have made. They have increased the investment limit for financial year 25. So right now the current limits are like this, and now for the first half, for the second half, this. मैम कौन कौन से नंबर याद करने हैं इनमें से, कितना याद करना है? So basically you just need to remember the total debt. total debt total debt limit आपको याद रखनी है. That is earlier it was something 14,70,655. For the first half it is 15,51,646, and for the we can say for the second half of the financial year 27 it is 16,32,640 crore rupees. This is what you need to remember. ये जो total debt है ये आपको याद रखना है, total debt, right? And if you can remember, you will remember the increase as well कि कितना increase करा है. So 81,000 has been increased in both the in first half, in second half as well. Okay, I hope it is clear. ठीक है. So now we are talking about last two changes in the limits for the investment by foreign portfolio is that from effective 1 April the VRR will be having the same investment limits as in general route. Okay. So this is, I have already told you that both the general limit and VRR have been merged together and they now being unified in one single category or route, that is general route. तो उसी की ही existing अब जो आने वाली जितनी भी investment है या फिर जितनी भी existing investment है, they will be now categorized under general route. Lastly, we have corporate default swap. We just talked about corporate default swap, right? You were asking in your mind, ma'am ने ये क्यों पढ़ा दिया, इसका तो कोई use ही नहीं हुआ. So this is a use. The use is that FPIs who were issuing CDS in our Indian stock market, right? They can issue such up to 5% of total corporate bond. Say corporate bond is total 10,000 crore. Simple. It is very simple for the calculation, right? And how much FPI can issue CDS? 500 crore only. So they can issue insurances in simple language, right? Or in technical language, we will use credit default swap. So they can issue 500 crore of, we can say, umbrella to the existing investors so that they can safeguard themselves. Okay. And they have a upper limit as well. That is, what is the upper limit? Upper limit is they have even have absolute numbers. That is on what we can say, what is the investment limit on absolute terms, that is in rupees. So that is 3,30,464 crores. So you will remember this number as well, that how much CDS can be offered by the FPI to Indian stock market. And the we can say in terms of percentage, it is 5% of the total corporate bond. Whatever corporate bond have been issued by a particular company, right? So this is what it is, right? So this was your first circular of the RBI that we need to discuss. Do you have any doubt as of now? Kindly communicate, otherwise I won't be able to understand that what is your requirement. Okay, I have tried my best to make sure that everything is being explained to you in a simple language. Okay, now we are going to talk about the second thing. We are going to talk about the second thing, which is floating rate saving bonds 2020 taxable, FRSB 2020T. Okay, do you have any doubt as of now? right? Do you have any doubt? Okay, so I'm just continuing with the second thing, which is your operational guidelines. Now, operational guidelines are very operational for the, we can say, for the banking system, but we have to remember few things which are important for you to understand. So first is the definition. Definitions are, what do we mean by FRSB bonds, that is taxable. So first of all, we get to know that these bonds are taxable in nature. That means TDS is being tax deducted at source, is being applicable on the return that is being issued by the government to you as a investors, right? So these are government issued bonds. Government is the one who is issuing these FRSP bonds, and these are not sold directly by the RBI, but RBI helps the government in issuing these bonds. So RBI, what RBI do, that RBI give these bonds to banks, authorized banks, who can act as an authorized bank to sell these bonds. Okay, then they can contact us, that is we as an investor who can buy these bonds, FRSP bonds. Okay, so who are these banks which are authorized and recognized by the RBI? These are ROs, receiving offices. They are the receiving offices who help us invest in the stock, in the FRSP bonds. What is bond ledger account? So bond ledger account is an account where bond investment is recorded and no physical certificate needed. So basically these are account opened by whom? By a investor with the authorized bank, that is receiving offices here, who is going to open this account for me so that I can keep the bonds digitally with them and can transfer the money accordingly. Definition of two things, that is central account section and central certificate of holding. Certificate of holding tells me that yes, I am the owner of this bond. Okay, so being a bond holder, I need to have this certificate of holding. This is a proof of document that I am an eligible investor and I am the one who is actually invested in such bonds. Central account section, which was one department of RBI in Nagpur. Okay, so they are the one responsible for settling and having a central accounting for these bonds. That is FRSP bonds. All the settlement are being done by the department of RBI in Nagpur. Other definitions are, who are the eligible investors? So allowed, a person can be allowed, an individual can take part in this and invest in this through the eCubear system. They are the one who is updating the system entirely, right? So every transaction or accounts is being updated through core banking, that is eCubear system, in order to manage the government transaction between the bank and between the government. Public debt offices, a department of RBI that manages the government debt and handles the bond issuance and services. So one public debt office is also there. Then we have receiving office, the bank or the financial institution who is being authorized by the RBI to sell and manage these bonds. And then we have link of sell RO, that is as ROs are dealing with individual, so RO must have a cell, link cell, to whom this is a kind of nodal branch or office to whom we can say uh, RO can coordinate with banks, other banks and RBI. Okay, so this is how the cell, link cell, is going to help RO in having a connection and coordination between the banks and the RBI. What is the procedure? Procedure is very simple. The individual can have a application form from a bank named as RO, that is receiving office. They can fill it and give it to the RO. RO, in their all bank branches, in all their branches, they are going to make this form available. The application form, blank application form, must be available of that RO's bank branches, right? Application should be received in cash. Application can either be received in cash or I can either be, money can be paid through check or draft. If you are paying in cash, then the limit is of 20,000 rupees. You cannot give more than 20,000 rupees cash for the FRSP bonds. For these, there is no certain limits and cash can be given to the bank and they can simply accept your application. These are some procedures that will be followed by the RO while they are accepting your investment, right? For investment, every investor should submit their PAN and they have to open one BLA, that is bank ledger account, in order to keep their bonds in electronic form, in electronic font. Now, the RO, that is the receiving office, is going to give every other services to the individual digitally. Digitally. So even if they want to cancel their investment, even if they want to get some money, even if they want to invest some more money, that all requests will be made digitally by the investor with the RO. Okay, so everything will be digitalized. So as you are opening an account, so all KYC regulation will be followed. All KYC regulation will be followed, right? Certificate of holding, that is the proof that you actually bought the bonds. That certificate will be issued to you within 3 days. Within 3 days, once you have made the investment, that will be sent to you via email, right? In case you have lost that certificate, you can get that again duplicated. That will be again duplicated by whom? The RO. The institution must maintain the register of all accounts and keep the centralized electronic record. So there would be a centralized record in which all the thing transaction will be updated, so that even if the branch, if even if there is one branch who is updating the, we can say, transaction, all the branch will getting communicated with the same centralized record, because the recording is being done on a centralized basis. So even if you are reaching or contacting some other branch, you will be able to get updated transaction that you have done recently. Okay, you as an investor can cancel the investment. You as an investor can cancel the investment also. But if you have sent some money and the money has been sent to whom? To C, to your, we can say, to the head office, the one who is settling your transaction, COS, right? That is in Nagpur. If the money is being sent and it has been settled by the Nagpur Department of RBI, then your investment cannot be cancelled. If it is cancelled by you before it is being sent to the headquarters, then your investment can get cancelled. So this is one more operational guideline is there. For reporting, that is CAS, central account section, you have to inform or send all the money within 2 days. The RO need to send all the money which is being given by whom? The investor, to central account section within 2 days. So any interest which is being lost, if there is a delay, that is it has been more than 3 days that you haven't transferred the money to the CAS, in that case, there would be the interest will be penalized on you as a RO, and you will be transferring that to the individual, because their money is not being kept, the money is not being sent to the actual person, and it is being held by the bank for more than 2 days. So they have to pay some interest on that, right? So everything will be done on eCuber. Penalty will be possible if there is a delay in the reporting, and each investment must be reported separately by the bank to the regulator through, we can say, Parva, and large investment must be reported by April 15. So any large investment that is being done by investor, that must be reported separately. Nomination. Obviously, the person is going to invest some money in the bonds, right? So they have to nominate. They have to nominate some person, so that at the time of death, they can, give these bonds to the beneficiary, right? So they can nominate anyone. It could be the domestic person as well. It could be an NRI as well. Okay. The details of the nominee must be given by the investors in a thoroughly way. Along with this, nominee might need to open their BLA account, right? They need to open BLA account. That means at the time of death, the certificates or the bonds will be transferred to nominee account digitally. Okay. So minimum allocation of 1,000 rupees must be allocated to each nominee. Say you have listed 10 nominees. So each nominee must have an allocation of 1,000 rupees. There could be multiple nominees, but it should be fully available by the banks from the investors by September to December 2026. Interest payment on the bonds. Obviously, you are going to invest in bonds. You will get some return, some fixed return. So what is that return? So return is being given after every 6 months. That is on a semi-annually basis. You get a interest rate, and interest rate is based on national security certificate. Now, national security certificate are the certificate on which certain percentage of money is being offered by the government. These are fully saved, right? These are the benchmark. This percentage is a benchmark. So whatever percentage is being offered by the NSE, percentage that is being offered by NSE plus over and above they offer 0.35 percentage to the individual. So you will remember this thing. This can be asked in your examination. Okay. They could also ask you about the NSE. That what is NSE stands for. So rates are always reset. That means it is being revised by the government in every 6 months. If it is being paid on a holiday and it is not paid by the bank because of the holiday, so in the next day they are going to pay the money interest along with the interest that is applicable for that one day. TDS is applicable, that I told you that these are taxable in nature. RO must give the TDS certificate as well, that how much tax they have, deducted. And even if there is any kind of delay, the compensation have to be given by RO to the investors. Repayment on maturity. Okay. Suppose the bonds were of 5 years maturity. At the time of maturity, at the time of last day of the 5 year, right? So bonds are repaid after 7 years from the issue. So say here we have took an example of 5 years. So here we can make it 7 because this is the minimum. They are saying 7 years, right? So no interest is being paid at the maturity. The principal will be paid within immediately on the time of maturity, and you as an investor will be informed 1 month before the maturity that yes, this has been the maturity is going to arrive. Make sure that your accounts are updated. Make sure your BLA is still operational in nature so that we can transfer the money or transfer the whatever is being required, right? And you can update the bank details within 15 days. Payments must be done on time. If there is a delay, the compensation is to be paid by the RO. See, a bank which is a RO can also contact brokers so that broker can bring in more investment from various kind of individuals. So as the RO have hired a broker, for that the RO is going to pay 0.5% of the mobilized fund. That is, say broker brought in how much money? Say they have brought certain amount of money and they have charged 100 rupees as a brokerage fee from the investor, right? So 50% will be held by RO, that is rupees 50, and 50% will be held by the broker. So this is how the fund will be mobilized between the RO and the brokers. Each broker will get a unique code. A UC will be allocated to broker so that the person RO can identify them based on their code. Record keeping. So RO who is providing bonds to the investors, they have to keep certain records with them for a longer period of time. What are these records? The first is 3 years of payment. 3 years of record must be maintained for the application. Second, if they have opened a BLA account for the investor, they have to keep the record of that on a permanent basis entirely till they are there in the market. Nomination, for the nomination and whatever nomination they have being received from the investor, they have to keep the record of these nominees for next 3 years. And reports, whatever reports that you have sent to the RBI or to the government, you are going to keep it till 3 to 5 years. Now this is the payments that RO can claim from whom? From the government. So as the ROs, that is receiving offices, are helping the government in raising the money, so ROs can claim certain fee from the government. And how the fee will be claimed by them? So for the brokerage, from the nature of payment, that is for the brokerage, they can have a 50-50. They can have a 50-50 of the fees, right? So they will have 50 per 100 rupees, 50 paisa will be made by the bank, and for per brokerage fees 50 paisa, rupees 50 paisa can be claimed from the government by the bank. For the handling charges, that is 1% of the subscription amount, whatever subscription amount is by the investor, on which 1/6 of that can be claimed by the bank. Turnover commission, right? Whatever interest that RO have paid, whatever principal that RO have flowed for you as a government, they can claim 7 paisa per 100 rupees. Say there is 2500 and they can claim 7 paisa. They can claim 7 paisa. So this is comes out to be uh this will be 18. Right, 17. 175 paisa that they can claim here. Okay, this is how they can claim it. Per 100 rupees, they can have 7 paisa. For the service charge, that means they have opened an account for the individual. They have also, kept existing BLA. They have some record for the BLA as well. They are going to keep it permanent for the next, we can say, n number of years. So for the new, for they can claim 25 rupees from the government. For existing, they can claim 20 rupees from the government. All these claims can be done on these respective days, right? So these are some questions for you as a homework. I just want you to write your answers in the comment section and I will give you the right answers in only in the comment section. In case you have any doubt, you can simply tell me in the comment section, ma'am, I have this doubt, I'm not able to understand, and I will help you with that. Okay. With this, we are done with the session. I hope the session was fruitful for you. So goodbye everyone and